Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I will be playing the Delta Green RPG. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The scenario is Operation Package Runway. So I'm told that that's a misleading title. I'll put the real title in the credits at the end. It was written by Graham Kinnenberg, and our game master is John Dos Passos. This is a one-shot. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. John?
So now it is a Thursday evening in northern California. It's about 6 o'clock at night. The curtain opens up on a secluded cabin up in this sort of rural area in Northern California, where all of our agents are arriving. Everyone has received, you all received an encoded email, which the subject line read, we invite you to a night at the opera. It mentions for you to meet your team at a cabin. There you will pick up a package. You will bring said package to a green box and ensure its safety, and you will receive further instructions thereon. So you are to meet your team at the cabin at 6 o'clock sharp. Do not be late. It is simply signed, Boris.
Boris.
Now I believe Platypus. I believe you are first to arrive.
Yep. I drive up to the cabin. I'm in a used but not disused Toyota Hilux. It's been modified to even be more rugged than usual. It's got a snorkel in case it's going into water. Hole resistant tires, and I pull up to the cabin. Is it lit? It's unlit.
It looks like there are no lights on. There's just simply the sort of light out on the front door of the patio. It's a small cabin. Looks like it's maybe one room with maybe a den area, so to speak, like a small upper floor. There's a small garage which is closed currently, and you do sense. Let's see here. What is your alertness skill? We're not actually going to have you do a roll here. This is just what is your skill, since you're not under any. Not under any sort of stress or in an immediate situation. Just having a skill at a certain amount will let you spot something. So you have a 60. Yeah, so with 60 alertness, you are able to notice as you pull up, sort of in the back of your view, behind the cabin, you see the small bit of smoke sort of wafted off, like maybe somebody was having a fire or a cookout, like a fire had recently gone out.
From the chimney or just behind the cabin?
From behind the cabin.
Okay. I'll just call out, be like, hello? Anyone here?
You don't hear anything, just the slow pickup of crickets as the sun slowly sets behind you, and our next agent arrives. Who arrives next?
I'll arrive next.
All right.
And I am in a 2003 Toyota Corolla. That's about it. I'll arrive at the cab.
As you arrive, you see there's there's a man in a car already there, sticking his head out the window, yelling something.
Hello.
I get out of my car and I walk to the cabin.
Wonderful. And as you're standing on the front door, Pompadour, I believe you.
Yeah.
What are you driving?
I pull up in a black Lexus that I stole somewhere in San Francisco.
Wonderful.
Because I didn't want to rent a car. And I wanted something stylish, so It's a nice Lexus.
Why did you bring a car with spinning wheels?
It's not that good. Maybe it is. Because it's hot. No, I wouldn't have gotten anything so obvious.
Okay. I just want to see what you would do with that.
It's a very nice high-end black Lexus.
Nice car. I don't know if it's
might
practical.
As well be comfortable.
Hey, blend in, right under their nose, hide in plain sight, as they say.
So is this everyone? The two of you?
I don't think so.
And as you say that, you hear, yet again, another roar of a car approaching.
I hope there's no neighbors nearby. I mean, where the party is.
Just tell them it's a poker night.
Do they not understand what 6 o'clock means? It's 6:01.
No argument there.
No.
Question for the keeper. Sorry, we're all part of Peace Cell, so do we know each other already?
No, you do not know each other as of yet. You're sort of working together for the first time. This is your perhaps your first assignment or early on in your career.
Okay, gotcha. I pull up in a Prius and park in one of the empty bays, get out, dust my long trench coat off, and walk over to the gentleman. Hello.
I guess we're waiting for one more. We might as well turn the lights on and get inside.
Yep. So I got here first, so I'll open the door and hold it open for everyone.
Well, you say that. However, when you go to the front door, you find that it is locked.
Check under the mat. Is there a key under the mat?
Not a bad idea. I do that.
You don't find anything under the mat. However, you do hear as the last vehicle approaches.
Which is another Prius, because I just said at the rentable place, what was the last one someone rented? And they just said a Prius, so I got a Prius. And I come up, I have a cigarette in my mouth, and I just come out, and got shades on, and I'm got even a trench coat on, and I'm just rocking out.
Joe managed to rent cars without giving your ID and stuff.
Agreed.
And as you're all standing there and making your little introductions, you sort of have this awkward moment where you all look around, sort of as if does somebody have the key, but before you really can question that, oddly enough, you look over and you see that the garage door is opening up.
Okay, what's this?
Somebody must be here.
I called out before, no one responded.
You do also notice, let's see here, who has the highest criminology? I think we have a 50, definitely. Does anybody have higher than 50?
No.
All right. Well, Patch, you notice when they mention someone must be here, you do see that there does look like to be some security cameras nearby.
Yeah, we're being watched.
Of course.
That makes sense.
Inside there is a small garage. There looks like some sort of a beaten up old truck with a tarp over it. It looks like it needs a lot of work. It probably isn't operable. But as well, there is a large footlocker. And on top of the footlocker, you see a little address card with some numbers and a little address on it. And you're kind of surprised. You also find what looks like a old school grease gun just sitting on top of the footlocker as if it was waiting there for you. And next to it, there is also 2 tear gas grenades and a burner phone.
I will admit not knowing what a grease gun is. Is that just a gun for greasing an engine, or?
It's an old school. A grease gun's an old school 1940s submachine gun.
Okay.
Sweet.
MP130, I think the model's called for them.
Right.
I haven't seen one of them in a long time.
What is this? They're horribly inaccurate and they jam. But
and was it a Patch? You have military science land, correct?
That is correct.
You can definitely you see these tear gas grenades. They look old. You think they're probably from around the same era as the grease gun. So these are some relics.
Yeah,
This
this is from the 40s.
This might be a green box itself that we're in right now. An old one. I'll pick up the burner phone. Is there any?
It seems to be a standard phone. There is one number already plugged into it. With no information attached to it, but it's the only number in the phone.
Okay.
What's on the card? I'm sorry. If you're still
I said it's just a simple little card that has an address. A 510 North Runway Street. You plug it in your phone. It's just a small little street, little bit outside the outskirts of LA. Out there in sort of the desert-like area where there's some. Garages and industrial type areas, just a small street with some closed down garages and renting storage areas.
I guess that's where we're going. I show the card. Anyone want to see it? Take a look at it.
I suppose before we get going with anything, we should introduce ourselves. I'm Agent Pompadour, but my alias right now is Jason Laredo. I'm a scientist. I've got a general science knowledge.
I'm Agent Platypus, and I'm going by Philip Peterson, but y'all familiar with Harry Potter? And they got that big guy Hagrid, and he's all special about the weird animals, all the weird animals. That's his gig. There you go. That's what you need to know about me.
You
I'm
work for a
not big in
wizarding school?
books.
That would be really cool. I really like the staircases that move on their own. Wonder what they think of elevators. Sorry.
I wonder what OSHA would think about that.
I don't know.
How many kids break their necks every day when that
I mean, how many kids have died at that school
I
that
think
hasn't
you guys
lost
have
its
your
license?
your little book club later.
Okay. Sorry, Agent
Patch, combat specialist.
Gotcha. Hopefully we won't be needing that skill set, but good to have.
How about you there? Either one of you.
I'm just sat in the corner. I'm waiting for the other one to. I'm smoking in the corner.
Yeah, I'm Agent Pelfer. Don't worry, I'm not going to steal anything on yous. I've done some emergency first responder training. So hopefully if you have any minor grazes, cuts or bruises, I'm a pretty decent driver as well. So a bit of a jack of all trades, if you may.
Sounds like you're volunteering to drive.
I mean, yeah, I don't mind.
Apparently all we're doing is taking a package to another green box, but how about you?
That's what I like to hear.
So what are you, a driver? Or are you actually a professional thief?
No, again, Pelfer is just the name I was assigned. No, I've done emergency first respondent training. So
okay, so you're a medic.
Yeah, I'm your medic. Hopefully you won't need me.
That's great. I have an expanded first aid kit. Really good for stopping bleeding, setting bones.
And you there.
He just flicks a cigarette to the ground and
You need to stub that out.
In the garage.
Yeah.
He'll stub
it out. He'll stub it out. Yeah, he's fine.
Okay. Just making sure.
Don't worry. He knows what he's saying. Pathfinder, alias at the minute, Pedro Patterson. Let's just say private security. But I dabble in the in medicine. Yeah.
Okay.
You're a doctor with a gun.
Combat medic, I like to go by.
Okay. Well, we'll see how this goes. If you get to smoke, I get to smoke.
Hey.
I'll ask. If nobody wants me to smoke, I won't smoke.
Oh, let's just try and keep the windows open.
Do we call the number and I look up at the cameras, or is somebody going to call us?
Well, I think we're supposed to take this box to this address.
Well, when I first came here, there was smoke coming from behind the cabin. I just want to see what that is real quick. So
Okay.
explore this garage, please, and I'll just be right back. Someone can tag along if they want.
Should we take a look inside the cabin as well?
I would like to try. It's a bit odd.
Well, hopefully you don't find one of your lovely fuzzy monsters you're so fond of, apparently, back there.
Is there a door from the garage to the house?
There is.
Is it locked?
That one is not locked. You sort of open it up, it kind of creaks like an old, it looks like between an old door, an old cabin. And it leads into the sort of the main room with the, like a couch and some things and small kitchen.
Is there electricity? I flip the light on.
Yeah, you flip the light on. There is working electricity. There had to have been for the garage door.
I want to do a quick look around and see if this place has been inhabited recently.
That's exactly what I was wondering.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long. You sort of search. Like I said, it seems to be one room, sort of a, living quarters, kitchen, multi-room with a small den where it looks like somebody set up a bed, like a small bed and sort of a place to sit. There's a couple old books, Moby Dick, just sort of small things and the like. It seems like this place was lived in, or maybe it was a vacation home or something. But it hasn't been used. Like the bed is very dusty. There isn't really much food in the kitchen. It looks like people have definitely been through here. Like it looks like people have been in and out the doors. So there's not cobwebs on those, but hasn't been lived in a while.
So it seems like it's a green box. Agents can stop here and hide.
Perhaps there isn't a lot of supplies other than the footlocker and what you found with it, but that is definitely possible.
So the footlocker is the package that we've got to take.
Is
you
the
can assume
footlocker
so.
locked?
It is indeed. It's not necessarily anything heavy duty. You probably could open it if you wanted to, but it seems like the idea was that it is locked for a reason.
Yeah. Well, I'll take. Is there ammunition for the machine gun?
It looks like there is bullets in it, but no extra bullets.
This is.
One clip.
Well, this seems useless to take.
Should we?
It's gonna last only a couple of seconds.
Do you know whether we should stay here tonight and head out in the morning, or what?
Am I still next to him? Because I said I was going to behind the cabin. So
Yeah, we can sort of cut to that if you'd like.
I just wasn't sure.
Sure. Yeah, and we'll cut back to Pompadour asking the others in just a moment. So you sort of step outside and look back, and you do see that the smoke seems to be rising up of some sort of structure that used to be in the ground. You see sort of the smoke from a sort of concrete slab, maybe a septic tank or something. You're not quite sure.
Somebody lit a septic tank on fire?
It seems like they burned something. Yes.
Oh, and they put it into the septic tank.
That's correct. The smoke's rising up from these sort of burnt.
Anything on the ground nearby that indicates it's like a sheet of paper or something, or?
No, you're not quite sure. You do smell what smells like. It smells rather disgusting, like old feces or something like that, but also something sickly sweet as well.
Well, I'm just gonna get the fuck out of there. That sounds awful.
It's probably the right move. It is rather imposing on your nose when you sort of sniff into it. And you return as the others are sort of still discussing. You were saying, Pompadour?
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I drove for hours to get here. I'm kind of beat. Should we wait until the morning before we leave?
I'd like to get a move on, and I don't know about the potability of the water in this place. The septic tank's exposed outside and it's shot.
Well, you don't usually drink the water out of the septic tank.
If the plumbing for that is bad, you don't know about the other plumbing.
Hey.
And with your, sorry, go ahead.
I'd just rather get out of here as soon as possible. I don't want to be here as long as I need. I just want to get it over with.
You can sleep in the car.
I guess so. Which car do you want to take? I mean, we can obviously leave mine because nobody gives a shit.
I mean, the Hilux, it's got an expanded cab. It's rugged. You could drive it off a skyscraper and it'll still run. We'll all probably be dead on the inside, but the Hilux will be around.
I'm wondering if we should. Are we like up in the mountains?
Yeah, you're sort of out in a very, very rural area. Like when you mentioned neighbors, that there aren't neighbors for maybe a mile or two. It's very spaced out. People buy this for their have a little bit of privacy and a nice place.
Well, I'm wondering if we should drive down the hill and then go to the nearest town and then ditch our cars.
Right.
We don't want to ditch them up here because if somebody finds them, they'll search the cabin and they might find something.
Sticks out like a sore thumb.
But we can ditch my car down there because it was stolen, so nobody's
How many cars will fit in the garage?
Probably maybe one in addition to the truck that's sort of already there.
But we're not going to come back here. So
fair point.
Right. And it is worth mentioning when you.
I could put the Lexus in there. Somebody else could use it sometime. I mean, it's now part of the green box, I suppose.
And it is worth mentioning that when you pulled it up, Platypus, on your phone, the address, it's just about 30, take about 20, 30 minutes to get down the mountain to the nearest little small town. However, the green box looks like it's about 6 or 7 hours drive down south. However, with your navigate skill, you can maybe shave off an hour, maybe make it 5 or 6. You take a shortcut or two.
I know some back roads that'll cut down on the travel time. So, I think we should just take my Hilux, but I do like the idea of abandoning all the cars or most of the cars in the nearest town. That makes sense.
Well, since mine is stolen, why don't I leave it in the garage with the keys, and then the next agent who comes along here can use it.
Yeah, so consider.
It's gone missing from San Francisco, and that's a long ways. So nobody's
that is a journey.
Finding it here. So I'll park my car inside the garage and. take whatever car you.
No, you guys want to help me put the foot locker in the back of my truck, please?
Sure.
All right, so we do that.
I-
Is it heavy? Is it rattling? Does it give any indication that's going to go boom?
Is it screaming?
No, there's no banging on the side or any ticking. You hear when you put your ear up to it, but it is quite heavy. It kind of shifts a little bit, like maybe that it is quite packed, but not fully packed. So there is something that's a couple of things in there that's making it weigh a little bit. But
Oops.
Oh dear,
Lost your sound.
you back?
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
How big is it? Is it big enough to stuff a body in?
Maybe somebody that was short. It's about 5 feet.
2 feet by 2 feet by 5 feet.
By 5 feet. Yeah, it's about the dimensions.
Charlie Chaplin. Got it.
When we stop to dump off the cars, we should also check for a gun store. We can probably buy more ammo for. I don't know if they sell a caliber.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
gun.
I got a 40mm Glock and a shotgun with bird and solid. So.
I mean, this machine gun will not be the only gun I have with me, but they seem to include it here. Might as well bring it to the other box with some more ammo.
The gas grenades, do they look usable or do they look unstable?
Excellent question.
Well, Patch can tell that they are quite old.
They might not operate as efficiently as one would like, if at all.
Well, I'm more worried that they'd go off in the car while we were driving.
No, and they're just tear gas anyway. It wouldn't be.
You don't want that going off the car, but okay.
If they were faulty to that point,
All right. Well, let's bring those along. Who knows what
put them in the trunk.
Yeah, do that. And anything else in the garage that's worth?
No, I mean, it looks like there's some tools, an old half-filled gas can. Just some stuff like a little workshop for the truck, but it's mostly dusty things that haven't been used in a long time.
If I actually find a screwdriver and a hammer, like a regular head screwdriver, hefty one, I'm gonna bring those along, pocket them. Sure. Maybe, who knows if we have to break into something or
Yeah, you're easily able to find like an old hammer with a little bit of rust on it, but it works fine. And there's a screwdriver that's got some specks of paint or something that was used for, but it works.
Prying open the door.
Anything in the old truck? I just very quickly go over glove box, trunk, and like that.
No, just some. Like I said, just some old scuff. Maybe like there's a little sort of like a manual that's been printed out. Like somebody printed out a manual for this type of old vehicle. Like got some instructions on how to shift correctly and how not to scratch the clutch. And maybe there's a multi-tool in there as well. But that's about it.
Right. I go to Agent Pilfer and said, "They're kind of you to drive. Help you know how to do a manual. Hand them my keys."
I think we're all driving.
Well, we're all driving.
Shotgun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We have to drive. We have to first drive back down to the town. That's right. Sorry.
Well, I'll drive whenever
Okay.
we meet back.
Alrighty, let's head on out to town. Unless there's anything else needed here.
I think as we were driving by, I saw Howard Johnson's in the little town down the hill. So let's just stop in the parking lot there and switch cars.
Okay.
Yeah. And transfer any of our equipment over if anyone has anything.
All right.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, it's easy enough. You drive down to the small town. You go by the post office, the McDonald's. The couple of handful of buildings that make up one of the main roads, and you make your way to the Howard Johnson and park your cars there.
Okay. We just. What time of day is it now, or what time of night?
Right. It is. It's about 7 o'clock at night when you Paul park and meet back up.
So there's probably a dinner crowd. We get parking where we can, and then we all just get into one car and leave.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I will put my very large duffel bag into the car as well.
Wonderful. Yeah. Luckily, there is still quite a there's a couple spots for you to take up, and you take as one of you comes in, you grab the last spot. You do see looks like somebody's van that they've got, and they got curtains up in the back. They're probably sleeping in it. So it looks like that you can probably leave the car here a night or two, and it won't go noticed.
Even if it does, can't be traced back to us. So I hope.
My rentable's under a different name to this.
Do we want to get any coffee or anything before we go?
Sure.
I would like to see if we can pick up some 45 caliber ammunition.
Oh yeah. Geez, this is California. You're not gonna be able to get that at Walmart. I'll have to find an ammo store. There's probably one nearby. Gun shop.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to go do a little shopping trip, you can. Looks like there is indeed a little Walmart with an attached gun store.
I'm just gonna stay with.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll buy a box or two of 45 caliber ammo.
Yeah, so you go inside, and the man behind the counter says, good you came in. We're going to be closing in an hour here. And why don't you give me a luck roll to see how extensive their inventory is.
26 is good.
Awesome. Yeah. So he's like, oh yeah, sure. We got plenty of that. I can cut you a deal on a little bit of that. And we can go ahead and bring up the spendage rules for Delta Green. So this is just a minor expense, we would call it. So you can get a couple clips for the gun. And so what you'll do is you will roll either an intelligence or a counting roll. And if you succeed, there is no penalty. You scrounge up the cash, pay for it. It's easy. However, if you fail, then you had to sequester some funds from your main account, maybe, piss off a loved one or your buddy you were supposed to go on a trip with. And so you take 1 point off a bond, but you still get the item.
Okay, well, 36 is a pass on accounting.
Wonderful. So yeah, you had some funds sequestered for exactly this kind of thing, and you get yourself a couple clips of ammo for the gun, a couple magazines. Is there anything else anybody wanted to get while you were shopping?
No.
I just want to say, while they're shopping, I'm minding the truck.
Yeah.
Just that way, the truck and the package isn't left alone.
I'll be smoking near Platypus because everything that I needed is already in my duffel bag, so that's just in there.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure to stay upwind from him.
I'm waiting near the car smoke.
And Patch returns with some ammo in hand.
Cool. All right, let's get going.
Cool.
Wonder why they called all 5 of us.
I've been wondering that too.
Deliver some package.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of us. Surely this is like a 2-man job. Maybe not. Maybe even one person.
Well, we better keep on our toes because obviously this is Delta Green. This isn't just like somebody's old laundry.
If there's 5 of us, that means there's something else.
Of course, it could be somebody's old laundry, but evil old laundry.
Well,
if things go terribly wrong, we have an untraceable weapon.
That's cool.
So it looked kind of like you were getting on the road and speaking in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And was Pilfer going to be the one driving then, or?
Correct.
Yep, I'm up front.
Cool. Yeah, so you're driving down, heading south towards closer towards the LA area and the outskirts, sort of the more deserts and dunes of California. And for a few hours, it's steady driving, and it's fully nighttime now, so there's a couple people on the road, but not a whole lot. You're not facing too terrible traffic on the interstates and stuff. And Platypus points out a shortcut or two for you to cut a little bit off the time. However, you are coming off of one of those, you're sort of off a little side road, sort of making your way back to the interstate off of one of these little shortcuts. And it does start raining rather heavily, and the rain starts picking up. It is getting rather heavy. You got the windshield wipers on full. They're still going. Brights on. There aren't a whole lot of people on the road. So you feel confident a little bit. Do you want to keep driving, or you want to wait and wait for the rain to stop?
You is all happy enough for me to keep trucking on?
Just be really careful. California, we're not used to the rain, so the roads get pretty oily. In between the rain. Also, don't go through Exeter, Gavin, because they're speed. What do you call them? Where the cops are watching the speed traps. Yeah.
So the party seems happy enough. So yeah, keep on plowing through.
Sure. You keep on trucking. However, when you turn the corner, you do see something that appears to be on the road, maybe an animal or something, and you sort of have to act right in the minute. So go ahead and give me a drive roll.
No, that's a normal fail.
All right. And so you're kind of just barely, turn it right at the end, and you kind of go off the road a little bit. And you're kind of scraping along the side. Now I'd like to go ahead and give me a luck roll.
Shit.
Nope, failed that as well.
What did you get specifically? Is it a double or just a regular fail?
Just a regular.
Okay. As you're going along, you kind of scrape, and you do hear some things sort of jostle in the back of the vehicle. Now, who had the tear gas grenades? Pompadour. So now, how exactly were you carrying those? Did you sort of have them in your backpack?
I put them in the trunk.
They're in the trunk.
Okay. Well, as you're driving along, you sort of scrape along, and you do get this faint wafting smell of something sour and terrible sort of leaking from the back of the vehicle.
The grenades.
I think we got to stop.
Agreed.
Well, we are stopped.
All right, we should get rid of those grenades. I think can we just bury them like in the dirt a little bit so they don't cause a fire or anything? And
well, it's raining. It's not going to cause a fire. Just toss them. But I
Fair
think
enough.
I'll go pop the trunk. They might have gone off.
All right, go ahead and give me a Constitution roll, or Constitution check, as we call it.
I'll come and assist if needed.
my truck.
Yeah,
I got a 51 out of 55.
All right,
and I've got a cloth over my face.
Oh,
Right.
I failed.
Okay, so Pompadour, you're able to sort of keep the cloth over your face and sort of get your head out of the way of the worst of it. It's kind of spraying in a weird manner. It looks like part of the side of it got pierced by something rolling around in the trunk, maybe from the emergency toolkit. And Pathfinder, you get just a whiff of it right in your nose, and that sour, sort of vinegary, sort of a peppery kind of flavor just overwhelms you. And you are going to be at a -20 to all rolls until you fix this, until you are able to sort of wash your face out with a lot of water and a cloth or some milk or something.
Well, it's raining
at a -20. So well, you could just sit in the rain for a little while and hope you don't get any bacteria from the rain going in your eyes. But
I have a cloth and I'll have probably a flask of water or something like.
Sure, yeah.
So
I'm gonna try and flip the grenades out of the trunk into the street.
It looks like it's just the one grenade. One of them was pierced. The other one seems to be just sitting there fine. And you're able to flip it out. And it kind of rolls onto the side of the road and into the woods, and the water sort of sprays as the mist sort of comes up. And you see as Pathfinder just pouring this water. Like there's rain going down his face. He's pouring more water on there. Just.
I'm just helping air out the rest of the truck. And I just point out, I was like, I love how the two smokers were trying to hold their breath. That's
I'm going to take the other grenade, and I'm going to pop that one also, and toss it about.
You're gonna pop the grenade?
Feet. Yeah, and throw it. If we're out in the country,
sure. But go ahead and give me a luck roll.
I just want it to go. I don't want a kid to find it.
Right.
And set it off. 97. That's a thing.
Oh,
okay.
Fuck.
Well, so you throw this grenade, and you're surprised as you hear the thud of an object hitting the woods, and it just sits there in the rain.
Fuck it.
Yeah, that was what I was expecting them both to be like, but
man.
Well, I just hope some kid or deer doesn't come along and find it.
I mean,
well, you
with
tried,
how slow
man.
this one is actually dispersing, it would have been useless to us anyway.
I just didn't want. Yeah, I didn't want that the other one in the car too.
But yeah,
That's
so
a good idea.
after a few minutes in the rain, you're able to sort of, be able to bearably, contribute to a conversation again, Pathfinder. And you all air the car out a little bit, and you lose a little bit of time, not much, but a little bit. It's about 11:30 now, and you're still about maybe 30 minutes to an hour, 45 minutes away from this little storage garage you've been given the address of.
Jesus, Pilfer, be careful if you're driving.
It's not his fault. It's California.
Here, do you need me to take over there, Pilfer?
Yeah, I think you better go ahead.
What was dead in the road?
Did I get a look?
There's nothing dead in the road, but you did see that there was
an animal ran across.
An animal, maybe a deer or some sort of a medium-sized animal that was on the road, and you didn't quite get a good look at it in the rain as you were trying to swerve to avoid it.
Next time, just hit the fucking animal.
And it's ironic, actually, as you look in, you see that there's actually one of those. I don't know if you've seen them, like safety releases, like if you get kidnapped and put in a trunk. That's sort of the flat end of that. Actually, when you had that swerve, the grenade sort of clicked that, and it was ironic. The safety release is what popped and made the tear gas start spraying.
Hey.
Oh
well.
Fuck.
Well, shit happens.
But it seems to be you've aired it out now, so it doesn't smell the best, but it's bearable.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Leave the windows down a little bit, let some fresh air in.
Yep.
I'm glad we didn't have beans.
We're almost there, guys. I mean,
yeah, we'll be there soon.
All right. So, Patch said you said you'll be driving the rest of the way.
Is the package secure?
It looks like it's still locked. It maybe got a little jostled, but doesn't sound or look like anything's been harmed that you can see.
Yeah. Do we have any rope? Maybe we can at least tie it to something so that it doesn't jostle around. You just drive more carefully.
I got plenty of rope if you want it.
All right. Let's go.
All right. And so Patch drives from here on out, and like I said, it's only about 30 to 45 minutes until you find yourselves sort of approaching, like I said, this sort of small deserted area in the outskirts of the general LA area. You see that there aren't a whole lot of buildings. There's sort of a small street. Looks like there's some maybe vehicle, maintenance or repair garages that seem to be either closed or shut down due to the economy at the moment. And you do see the sign of a sort of a rent a storage facility. And there is a couple attached garages that seem to be sort of their own entity that are up for rent. And you do see the 1501, the address that you were given, is one of those storage garages down the street.
It's past midnight at this point.
Yeah, it's about 12:05 as you pull up. And in fact, I would like everyone to do me an alertness roll as you all pull up.
Success.
All my alertness, and I roll an 85, so no.
Success. I got
just a regular, no doubles. Okay.
Just a regular.
Yeah. So Platypus and Pathfinder, the two of you, as Patch pulls the car up, you sort of are looking around and you notice that there is looks to be a man or some sort of a figure in the distance. He sort of steps and he gets into a vehicle that's parked. Looks like some sort of a Honda, like maybe a Honda Civic. A couple blocks down in the distance, you can sort of barely see him in the nightlight, illuminated by the street lamps. And he gets in the car and he just sort of sits there for a moment. And then you do see, after a moment goes by, the car starts and it goes forward and pulls around a corner.
Like somebody was watching us? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
No, it's fine because I was just about to say I mentioned that to everyone else just so we're all informed.
Yeah, Platypus and Pathfinder pointed out, and you all catch the car driving down the road and pulling, making a left and heading, looks like out of sight. It seemed to be that you sort of happened to drive up as somebody was walking by, but they did pause. You noticed when they got in their car.
It wasn't just some flunky.
I mean,
It's
it
kinda
could have been
late.
someone just surprised that anyone else would be here, but
Yeah.
it also could be something.
Who would be expecting us?
This is
Maybe
the kind of
somebody
place
else
that
is
you'd
after
expect.
this.
You'd expect this kind of place where you'd find drug deals going on in the middle of the night.
It probably was nothing, but we might as well just keep an eye out. It's
Yeah.
probably, as you said, it's probably just some shady business going on.
I mean, I don't think there's any cause to go looking after the, go chasing that person or anything. Let's just
Right.
get the job done, call it a night.
Just got to keep our eyes open.
Yeah, we just keep an eye open.
And what
Right.
you said, it can't be discounted that the package we have might be valuable of some sort, and
Yeah.
somebody might have found out about it. Who knows?
Exactly. All right. So, do we know which box or your unit we're putting this in, or it's on the card, right?
Yeah, so it looks like a 1501, simply a one sort of a garage, like maybe like some like an industrial rental type thing. And so you do see it's just a single garage unit, and there is a keypad. However, as you glance over, you can't quite tell from the distance, but it looks off. You can't quite see illumination. It seems to be just a darkened keypad.
Do we drive the truck up to it so that we could use the headlights to illuminate it? If not, I have flashlights.
Can we get to it, or is there a gate?
Oh no, it's sort of on the road. It seems to be there's a security system you type in. Just sort of you can drive right up, drive a truck up and load things in and out.
And there were numbers on the card, I believe you said, correct?
Oh, just the address.
There's numbers on the phone. Maybe try these.
Oh,
numbers.
try those then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we do that. We put in the numbers from the phone.
So you're all gonna get out and approach the garage.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And as you approach, you see that the reason it's darkened is it seems to be not working. It seems like it's maybe it's been disabled or turned off. It seems to be not working. So it looks like you could just pull the garage up.
This doesn't seem right to me. I mean, I know the whole idea of a green box is it's hidden in plain sight, but that doesn't mean it's also just, like a shed with a screen door that's flapping open.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's an old abandoned mobile home out in the middle of nowhere. But
I've always wondered about that policy. But okay.
Expect there to be traps. So
yeah,
be careful. So I would put the number into the keypad, even if the keypad's off. Maybe it just looks like it's off.
Yeah, you go ahead and type the last four digits of the phone number, and there's no response. Doesn't seem to be active.
Did you try hitting pound after you were done? Maybe you're supposed to hit pound. Nothing. Okay.
Seems like it might. Does anybody have a computer science?
I don't think so.
Nope, not me.
Or craft electronics?
Yeah, I've got the computer.
Sure. I have craft electronics.
I got 14 out of 40.
Yeah, it looks like somebody has deliberately gone in and you sort of look under and you're able to move up part of the bottom, and there seems to be a wire that has been cut. Like somebody who knew this kind of security system specifically broke in.
Of the door.
The keypad, yes.
The keypad.
Which is what allows the garage door to be open and closed.
What you got there? Could it be fixed?
I don't know.
No, it might have been somebody's broken in here.
Well, if someone's broken in, that means this is compromised.
Which one of you wants to risk opening the door?
I'll open it.
Here, you open it. I'll have the machine.
I'm stepping back.
Everybody get back.
I'm going behind my truck. I'm expecting
my hand will be on my because underneath my waist, underneath my trench coat, I would have my holster. So my hand is on my gun, and then I will.
So there's the road, right? And you've got the garage. It's sort of on the side. There's like an alleyway on the left and right of it, in between it and the closed down buildings. There's your vehicle right on the road, sort of parked there. So you're gonna sort of hide on the side of the vehicle, hide behind the car. Where
I want to get away. I want to get out of the blast zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm the exact same way. I'm
so
basically
maybe on the alleyway that's sort of like to the left of the garage.
Yeah.
With a flat 40 in electronics, does it look like there's any way to mitigate anything like that happening?
Craft electronics?
Yeah, I've got 40 in it.
You think you could probably fix it and get it working again, but you're not quite sure if it would relock or if it would remain unlocked. You're not sure, but you could definitely get the keypad working again.
And I'm thinking if Agent Pathfinder gets blown to Kingdom Come, well, there's still 4 of us, so we can continue our mission.
All right, so Pompadour and Platypus are sort of on the side in like the little alleyway, and they're sort of looking over, and then Pathfinder's getting ready to open it. Patch and Pilfer, where are you two located at the moment?
Well, I was looking at the keypad and just asking if anyone wants me to try and attempt to fix it.
No.
I think we'll move on, maybe.
I am waiting. I'm kind of positioned behind Pathfinder so that when he lifts it up, I am ready with a gun.
Sure.
What's the worst?
You got your pistol out, or?
I have the grease gun.
Oh, you've got the grease gun out. Okay, sure.
And I'm nudging
ready
Platypus.
to pull my pistol.
I'm nudging Platypus, and I'm like, these 2 agents think that there's going to be a monster inside when there's probably just a bomb.
I was honestly just expecting, you know what a pineapple is? Where you just get 1 to 3 grenades and they just go right off at head height. It's a very simple booby trap.
Well, let's
yeah, let's do that.
All right, so
that's a good idea.
Pathfinder, you're gonna lift it up?
Yeah, and I'll be like, Pack, you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not hugging you.
Yeah, I know, but I will have shouted to you because I know that you're combat trained.
Yeah, don't stand together. It's a really bad idea. Anyway.
So you raise up the garage and you sort of fling it open, and what you're met with in front of you is actually a crates. This is the first thing you see. Is it looks like half of the garage there are these industrial crates, kind of like in the in the Indiana Jones movie where they have the warehouse full of them, those kind of crates, and they sort of stacked up almost to form a false wall that sort of shields half of the garage behind it that you can't quite see. And then in the other corner, there's a sort of a crate right in front of the door, and you see behind it there's some sort of the edges of a couch, and you think you kind of spot what looks like maybe feet poking out from behind the crate wall. But before you can sort of focus in, you are immediately met with the barrel of a pistol, as you see a man sort of come out with a gun raised from the side of the crate, and he says, "Freeze, you dirty stinking Russians!"
Well, he's gonna get shot.
All right, you want to make a firearms roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he came out and said that, I think
I was ready with I'm not gonna full auto lethal at him, but I will.
Okay, he's gonna fire a pop shot. Sure.
Yeah, I would also be. Maybe aim for
gun. I don't have to.
Because I will have just put out my pistol. I'll probably.
I didn't know they had an option back then.
At least in Delta Green, you can choose not to.
Okay.
You can single fire
instead of not.
In reality, I'm pretty sure Tommy gun is just once it starts, it just goes.
No, you can fire a single shot.
I thought it was.
Yeah, you can fire. Yeah.
You just tap the trigger.
And I'm going to look around to see if, Jesus Christ, are there any houses or anything anywhere nearby?
We're out in the middle of the desert industrial place.
I hope so.
Great. So 13 is a success.
I got 40, which is a success to shoot at the kneecap.
Okay. Is a 40? If you're shooting for the kneecap, that would have to be at -20.
Okay.
Does it still hit?
Wait, 40. I think mine's 6.
Then that's a hit.
That's
wonderful. So you see as you're sort of looking in, and it's sort of everything's sort of coming into focus. You see, it looks to be the woman's legs coming out on the couch from behind there. Seems to be a man coming out from the side that you just shot at. You see there's that other crate, which looks like there's perhaps another person, but they're kind of slumped over behind it. And yes, both of you go ahead and roll me damage for your weapons. I believe it is just a D10 when you fire a single shot. Yeah, because it's the same as a pistol.
What is? I use my light pistol, so would that?
A light pistol would be a D8.
Well, I grazed him. I rolled a 1.
Okay.
Oh, I rolled a 1 as well.
Okay, so you both fire, and Patch, you sort of you shoot sort of at where he's at, but it sort of clips the crate, and just doesn't really do much damage to him because he's sort of half behind the crate. Pathfinder, you do get a shot off, and it kind of grazes his knee that you were specifically aiming at. So you don't quite get a shot, but you do one damage as you hit from his knee, in which he goes, ah, and he sort of gets behind. And he's like, God damn it! And he's like, and you hear first thing he screams is Antonio, quick, start firing! The Russians are here.
We're not Russians. Put your gun down.
Is what? And you hear the man go from behind the crates. He goes, What do you? Why'd you shoot at me?
You're violating my private property rights.
What are you talking about? Who are you? We're supposed to be here.
Supposed to be here? Who the hell are you?
Well, I'm Othello.
What did he say?
He said his name was Othello.
Oh, Othello. Okay.
Well, how about you put your gun down and let's talk about this.
And I would like everyone now also to do me another alertness roll.
No.
66 is an extreme success.
I was 99, which is extreme.
Right. So Patch, you're right on it. You're kind of hyper focused at this guy that you're behind the crate, but that's when you hear the shuffling of some footsteps in the alley to your right, alley to your right, not the alley where your friends are hiding, but the one on the other side. You hear what the foot sounds like somebody trying to sneak up on you.
Well, I'm gonna pop around the corner, like not all the way expose myself, but I want to get.
When you see what looks like a young kid, maybe in his early 20s, in sort of a cheap suit, and he's got an automatic shotgun. But when he sees you, he sort of drops. He sort of lets go with one hand, and he goes, "Oh, hold on." And when you when that happens, you hear the man from inside go, "Oh, damn it, Oscar! You had to blow it."
I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna walk up to him and get him on the ground and get his gun.
He's like, look, I don't want no trouble. Look, we're just we needed to be at the box. We got wounded.
The box. Who are you?
Yeah, who?
Is it? What do you mean? We're a task force. So who are you? How do you know about this place?
Before we go
task force
on,
from who?
Yes.
I want to say that tactically, I moved maybe with Platypus. We moved into the alley so that if our agents are compromised or captured, the people inside the box don't know that we're out here.
Right.
Agreed.
So that we can use a surprise attack if we need to.
Okay. And I just quietly asked Pompadour, I was like, "You're armed, right?"
No. I've got a hammer and a
I hand him my my 40mm Glock, and I start putting solid slugs into my shotgun.
And as you're all sort of figuring this out, the man he sort of he's got his hands up, he's sort of dropped the shotgun on the ground at this point. He says, "Look, we're he kind of looks at you and sort of eyes the couple of you that are standing open eyes. Wait, are you? Maybe we're on the same team here." And
Oscar, what's the person inside? What's his name?
Said, that's Othello.
Othello, code names?
And he kind of looks at you and he kind of isn't really sure what to say, but kind of nods.
They must be Ocel.
No.
And he says, from the inside, you hear the man who was identified as Othello. He says, "Look, all right, you don't sound like Russians. Look, all right, look, any of you know any medical expertise? We got 2 wounded in here."
Yes.
Wounded for what?
All right, I'm going to put my gun in my holster, and I'm going to walk out from behind these crates, and you're not going to shoot me, all right?
No, I won't, but I will be keeping an eye, because
He's like, "Here, and he puts his hands out first. He's like, "Here, I'm not, no funny business, all right?"
Okay, you move to one side. Pilfer, you've got medical training as well, don't you?
And he kind of comes out. And he sort of steps out just beyond the box wall. You see that this seems to be an older man. Got salt and pepper hair. Like he's seen some things. Not super old or anything, but definitely grizzled by agent type standards. Right. And you see he sort of walks out to show you his hands, but he's still sort of. You can tell he's with somebody. If you've got more than 50 human, his stance is a little defensive. Like he's standing in front of whoever is on the couch in the back, like he's protecting them. Okay. He says, "Look, I got my boy Antonio here has been stabbed bad, and our friend Ophelia here, she's real messed up. I don't know what they did to her."
Okay, right. You just stay there, Pilfer, and I'll go look. Hopefully, Pilfer's right behind me, and.
Yeah, I was, when I seen them hiding in the alley, I'll sneak out over to Pathfinder.
Yeah, and, the man that's identified is Oscar. He said, "Look, come on, you gotta help. And anybody know first aid? You gotta help Antonio." Yes, and he walks inside and he sort of gestures over, and sort of that man that was slumped behind the crate. You see there's looks like another man, a little older than Oscar, the fellow that was identified as Antonio, and he's got another cheap suit on, but you can see that there's quite a lot of blood coming from his torso. That looks like he's got a bad stab right in the side, and he does have a pistol sort of on the floor near him, but it doesn't look like he's quite that doesn't look like he'd be very good with it if he were to need to use it in his condition.
Okay, so if I'm going to what other conditions, because obviously they said there were 2 people, what other conditions if I walk around? Because there's the Ophelia as well.
Yeah, so as you walk up, Othello, he says, hold on. Do you actually know anything about medicine?
Yes, I do.
He kind of looks you up and down for a moment. He says,
I just need to have a look to see, and then I will go get my equipment.
Sure. Yeah, and if anybody else, you got to help my boy Antonio too. But Ophelia's really in bad shape, and so he moves and he lets you take a look at her.
Okay.
And you see there's a sort of an old red couch here, and as you look, you do see a woman. She seems to be naked, lying under blankets, and you can sort of as you approach, you hear her sort of light moaning. In pain. You see, immediately notice that she has deeply bruised skin, all over, and her abdomen is quite swollen. And as you approach, she looks up to you and she mutters, you got to be careful of the rooms, the webs, the silken strands. Othello, she sort of cries out. And he's like, I'm right here. Look, they're going to do something to help you.
Okay. Pilfer, quick. Randy, you look at Antonio, was it? Antonio?
And he goes, yeah, that's me.
And I will inspect Ophelia more than because I need to get a gist of what's really wrong with her, so then I know what to go get out of my duffel bag.
Mm-hmm. Sure. We'll go ahead and do you first then. So you take a little bit of time to look at her, and like I said, she does not look very good. And after a time, it's a few moments of looking at her, she kind of puts her arm up and pushes you aside a little bit, and she kind of turns to the side, over the couch. And she starts vomiting, and she starts vomiting this disgusting bright yellow vial, this disgusting stuff, and it's a large quantity. I mean, there's about a bucket's full that she just vomits all over the floor of this rented garage. And she sort of looks lucid for just a few moments. She sort of looks up, wipes her mouth, and she goes, Dan, and Othello steps. He says, "Shh," and he kind of shushes her and takes her hand. And he kind of looks at you and he says, "Look, you got to be able to do something. we had an op. She was and he kind of looks at you and he's sort of contemplating something. He says, "Look, we sent her in undercover and they found her out, and I don't know what they must have poisoned her or something. We were dealing with this cult at this women's shelter. We ended up going bad. We had to go in and get her. We had to burn the place down. Poor Antonio got stabbed on the way out."
Okay. I shout out to Patch. Patch, can you go get my duffel bag from out the car, please?
I'm a little tied here.
Or shout one of the other ones.
Am I able to hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're listening.
Yeah. In fact, why don't you both give me a stealth with a +20?
I got an 01.
Okay. Well then, Pompadour is silent.
I rolled a 95.
Well, that's a failure, but it's not a terrible failure. So there is you kind of like move a little, try to get a little closer to hear a little, and you kind of accidentally nudge a trash can, and there makes a little clatter, and Othello's like, "Oh, hold on, hey, how many there are you?"
Platypus, go get Pathfinder's bag.
Okay.
It will be a little heavy, so be careful.
Like, whoa, what are there? 3, 4 of you? How many of there are you?
That's not important to you.
No, just if you want our help, just trust us. I'm going to inspect her eyes as well because I'll have them.
Area secured or no?
Look,
semi-secure.
I'm gonna ask. Were you guys followed here? I'm to the person I have, on the ground.
Yeah. The Oscar who sort of just on the inside looking up at you, the youngest one. He says, "No, we're pretty sure not. I came out and when I moved the car, I only saw you guys, and so it didn't look like it. We just got here.
Honda Civic.
Yeah, we just got here, not 20 minutes before y'all."
Okay, we gotta.
All right, at this point,
be on the lookout for any. I'm looking now for cars. People might have been followed here.
Looks like at the moment you don't quite see anything. Nothing in the immediate area. Pilfer, you said you were going to take a look at Antonio, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and give me a medicine or first aid and roll and tell me what your medicine skill is, no matter what.
I don't have any in medicine, only in first aid.
Go ahead and do first aid then.
And if Platypus walks by me, I'm going to say, we need to find out if they're Delta Green.
3.
Failed it by 3.
All right, yeah, you can tell it doesn't take an expert to know he's not looking good. I mean, there is blood, on the floor. There's blood all over his suit, his shirt. You can't quite tell exactly, but you're pretty sure if he doesn't get to a hospital in the next couple hours, he's probably going to be dead from loss of blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to get this fella to a hospital.
So I'm focused on her, even though I made. So as I'm checking her eyes, I want to get a notice of her condition. See if there's anything in my. They don't know, but first responder kit that might be able to at least ease her pain.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah. Her eyes look a little milky, almost like they're a little foggy or white. You're not quite sure what it is exactly. It's very odd. Other than that, I mean, she looks rather normal. You can't, aside from the fact, everything that we've talked about before, but there's nothing, she doesn't have anything in her nose or anything weird like that. It just seems to be that she has got this, she's very pale. Doesn't look very good. She's got these bruises and her abdomen is very swollen. You'd almost think that perhaps she's pregnant, or she has some sort of tapeworm or something that would produce this bloated of an abdomen. And as you're sort of examining her, Othello hears the talking of the other agents, and he says, "Hold on a minute." He says, "Who's your handler?" Who do you answer to on this? You and your friends here.
Boris.
I don't. Okay, where is what's the cover?
Package delivery.
Package delivery.
We're just couriers.
Are you here on a night at the opera by chance?
And Othello kind of looks up at you and he says that. He says, I haven't heard that in 10 years. Night at the opera. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Wait, what are your code names?
Pathfinder.
Platypus.
Alfer.
And when you said his eyes sort of wide, he's like, wait a minute. Are you P-Cell? That can't be true. We don't do that anymore. Who sent you here? And he's kind of looking at his a feeling. He's like,
It's
like, listen, he looks at you, but he's like, keep helping her, do whatever you can. And he looks at you, he says, but I want to talk to you, all right? And he kind of stands right, he's still standing right by her, but he's kind of looking at you now, Patch, and
it's possible we're peace.
Has Platypus
plausible, practical.
Has Platypus brought my stuff to me yet? Is it?
Yes.
Now?
Oh yeah, I got you all your stuff, but and I'm like, here, use all your toys. I also grabbed my extended first aid kit. It's got a lot of stuff in it. Have fun.
So what I do is I quickly look at Antonio because he's in the worst condition from my perspective, going by what Pilfer. So I will use a dressing on him and some gel antibacterial gel around.
Yeah, you want to give me a first aid as well?
Yep.
So
that is just a regular success.
All right.
Right. So you are able to give him some aid, stop the bleeding a little bit. You think you've definitely bought him some time. That's about it. I mean, you've put a couple more hours on his clock, but it's still ticking.
Okay.
Right. He says, hey, no, look, he'll be fine. Look, I've already called this in. Look, you gotta help her, okay? You gotta help her.
Called this in to who?
Yeah.
I called it into my handler, okay? Somebody in the program. Look, I need you. Look, I need you to help her. All right, I need you to help her.
I'm working on it.
And as he says that, you see, she kind of, sits up a little bit. Her, she's breathing, rapidly, and she sort of, cries out. She says, "Yeah, look out! Watch the sacred poison!" And she's sort of, she's sweating profusely, and her skin looks almost alabaster white. And she passes out again.
Right.
You think maybe what she's going through, Pathfinder, might be some sort of severe anaphylaxis of some kind. Maybe some sort of allergic reaction.
Can I do a medicine check to maybe analyze it further? Like if I'm...
I mean, with your skill, you sort of already figured out that, you've got all that you could get. You're not quite sure what exactly is going on, but like I said, it looks the closest thing would be severe anaphylaxis, but she has a swollen abdomen, maybe like she's pregnant or bloated extremely.
Yeah, so I'm going to look at the abdomen because that's attracting me more, because I don't want to... So first, while I'm checking out her abdomen more, I'm going to keep looking and maybe press around a little bit. I'm also going to ask a fellow, does she have any allergies? Do you know?
What? No. No, she's not allergic to anything that I know of, and no. Why? What do you think that they?
Well, she appears to now be in some sort of anaphylactic shock, but the swelling around the abdomen suggests. Do you know if she was pregnant at all?
Pregnant? No, of course not. No, she's not pregnant.
Do you know if? So was it at a woman's shelter you're at, right? So that you made her infiltrate, yes?
Yeah.
How long was she infiltrated there?
Look, she was only in there a few days, but look, I don't know if I want to tell you all this. You still haven't given me much information on who sent you and why you're here.
Well, we've just got to.
Meanwhile,
literally,
I'm backing out carefully. I'm going back to Pompadour, and I just quietly tell him, like, call this in, drop location compromised, all that.
You don't see me right away.
Okay. It's like, Pompadour. No, but
so it seems that Pompadour is stepped away. Meanwhile, pilfer. You hear Antonio sort of he sort of glances up to, and at Patch and Othello arguing, and he looks at you and he kind of whispers just to you, and he says, "Look, I got to talk to you for a second." He says, "Look, I'm no idiot, okay? I'm not looking so good, and that he's messed up. Look, he's too attached to Ophelia. To be honest, we can tell when something's up with him. I don't know if he called this in, and I don't know what's up with Oscar, but look, I've got something in my pocket. Worst case, if I'm not gonna make it out of here, I don't want our work to be for nothing. All right, but listen, if anybody asks, I didn't hand you this. You took it off me when I was passed out or something." And he hands you a little piece of paper.
Atlas Foundation Shelter for Battered Women in Glendale. Series of missing persons reports and murders of men in or around Glendale. Victims all had ex-girlfriends/ex-wives. Natasha Atlas makes sizable donations every year. Connection. Missing persons reports line up with fashion shows. And that's all decorated with some nice bloodstains.
Okay, so I'm done in the alley, and I'm gonna go in, and I'm gonna just as nonchalantly as possible, given the tense situation, and I'm going to whisper to Agent Patch. Do I need to roll for whisper or just?
Sure. Go ahead and do me a stealth, since you're doing it kind of right in front of everybody in a small garage.
And is there another door? Did the kid go out the door and come around the alley?
No, it looks like he was in the car. So he drove their car sort of down and sort of drove it off somewhere, and then came back around. He probably called, and that's how they knew that you were coming.
So there's no other exit.
No, it's just the garage. It opens and closes. Yeah.
I rolled a 27, which sounds good, but I have a stealth of 10.
All right, so we'll say that you can go ahead and whisper what you want to Patch. They know you're whispering. They didn't pick up what you said, but they're kind of looking at, Othello's kind of eyeing you a little weirdly now, a little suspiciously.
I just say, got word from Acel. No one else supposed to be here. No other agents.
Yeah, these are different. Well, how do you know about this place?
Well, I'll have you. He says, "Well, I'll have you know, I used it before."
Used it before, huh? But you're not part of the outfit anymore, it seems.
Well, it depends on what outfit you're talking about.
Look, you want us to keep saving your little friends here? You're the one who has to start talking.
Listen, I already told you too much. Okay, look, I just need your help. All right, I don't need you scrutinizing my every move over here. All right. And Pathfinder, you were sort of close to the woman.
Yeah, I'm pressing on her abdomen. I'll press her a little bit just to see if there's some form of reaction.
Yeah, when you press a little bit, she screams. She goes, "Ah, no!" And you see as her whole body starts to swell massively beneath the blankets, and you hear the sort of popping, the audible popping of bones and sort of her agonized screaming. She sort of starts thrashing around. She breaks a few digits and tears a nail. Ah!
Would I have something to knock her unconscious?
Sure. Yeah. Do you want to give me a pharmacy roll?
Jesus Christ. Let's see. I have all the. Let's see what do I have.
And by the way, at this point,
I do. Okay.
Because I was gonna say I've leveled my shotgun at her, just being like.
That is 32 out of 40. So.
Yeah, and when you level your shotgun, Othello steps in front of you. He's like, "Whoa, hold on! She's wounded." And as that's happening, Pathfinder, yes, you go ahead and you inject her with something to sort of calm her. And there is it sounds like for a moment she settles, like she's almost like she's taking a rest. However, excuse me, however, you continue to hear that disgusting popping sound, and it's sort of overshadowed by Othello, sort of yelling at Patch. He's like, look, I, you got to give me some answers before I can give you some answers.
Shut up. Tell him.
And
calm down before I put you down.
Up and listen for a second. And I'm going to listen.
Yeah. Close. And you tell everyone to shut up, and they sort of glance over. And you see she, her eyes, they jolt open, and she screams a blood-curdling scream. And then you don't expect it. She moves, she shifts, and she sort of leaps up from the couch up to the ceiling, landing upside down and scuttling to the walls, and then sort of over the floor and back.
Firing shotgun.
Yeah, and I need everyone to give me a sanity roll first.
Okay. And it's solid slug, by the way.
I am.
He is good.
Hang on,
I'm very good as well.
I failed, which is that's fine.
Where's my sanity? Oh, I made it by 1.
All right, so if you made it, it's going to go ahead and be a D4, and if you failed, it's going to be a D10.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Jesus. That's 9.
3.
Can I push that onto one of my bonds?
Yes, you can.
So projecting?
Yeah, so you can project. If you want to go ahead and roll your willpower. How much did you take total?
9.
Yeah, so maybe okay, so no matter what, you're gonna have a bout here, but let's see. Let's see what happens. So go ahead and roll that to see how bad you lose sanity.
So okay.
So roll a D4 for projection.
D4. 2.
Yeah, so what you're doing here is you're using your willpower to sort of project this away and not deal with it now, but it is going to come back and hurt you in your personal life. So you're going to take 2 off of your current willpower and 1 of your bonds, but you'll take 2 off of that sanity as well. So you'll only take 7 sanity damage, but you will still have a bout.
Yeah.
Would you like to fight, flight, or freeze?
I think he'll freeze because he was trying so hard to be careful, he knew, and then all of a sudden she just defied what he knows and is now...
Right, so there's this woman is scuttling and there's these disgusting, strange arms popping out of her, and it's nothing like you'd ever believed.
He might have combat experience, he might have seen some shit out there, but...
This is different than anything you've ever seen, and so Pathfinder is frozen nearby. How did everybody else do? We had some passes, some failures.
I passed and lost 1 point.
Okay.
I passed and took 2 points.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
I am not watching, of course. I'm outside.
Right. Well, you do hear the screaming.
When I hear the noise,
from the little alleyway.
I think that I will move over and take a peek, because at this point I'm seriously thinking about pulling the door closed.
And let's see here. Let's see who has the highest dex. I know we have some 14s. Anything higher than a 14?
I have 13.
I'm 14.
All right. So looks like there is a let's see here, a tie. So it is a Pompadour and Platypus. Yep. Pompadour and Platypus are both on 14s. So you two will go first.
I'm shooting my solid slug shotgun at the lady.
All right,
center
slugs?
mass.
Yeah, slugs.
And not stopping until it's the barrels.
All right, go ahead and roll firearms.
All right, rolling firearms. Okay, that is a 60, which is a. Sorry, I don't know my skills off the top of my head. Firearms. I have a 50 in firearms, and I rolled a 60.
So unfortunately, you just shoot a little bit. She's kind of scuttling up the wall. She back up to the ceiling, and you kind of shoot at the wall, but you kind of just miss her. All right, Pompadour, you hear the sounds of gunfire, screaming, and the strange popping of bones.
Right. And I move forward, and I take a look inside. And
all right, you can do this. Yeah.
I rolled my sanity. I got an 06.
All right, yeah. So you're fine. So just do a D4.
Okay.
This is from the unnatural. So.
Okay. I just got 1.
Okay. Yeah. So you just take 1 damage.
Okay. And if she is on the other side, I'll try shooting at her. If she's moving towards the door, I'm going to pull the door down so that whatever it is can't get out.
It looks like she's moving back up to the ceiling. Maybe it looked about to pounce on somebody, one of them in the room. So you can go ahead and roll a shot.
I'll shoot. 30. Let's see if that's any
It's like, what, you don't want to close the door just with your buddies inside?
We're not buddies. I miss.
All right, yeah, so of course, again, you shoot, and she's kind of skittering this strange creature that was once a woman. It sort of skitters up there. All right, and now it is her turn. And she's going to skitter down. And the first thing she is going to do is this disgusting thing, almost it sort of peels and rips, and you see what once was the flesh of the woman fall down, and just this disgusting form. And I will actually show you a picture of what you see. Don't cover your eyes.
I'm not. I've got.
Poor Josh. He's in the wrong business. Oh
no, Jesus Christ!
So this is what you saw just a moment ago, and now it is turning into this. And so this disgusting thing is now sort of fully come out of what was once is now a husk, unfortunately, of what was once a woman. And this thing is upside down on the ceiling, and it turns. And let's see who it attacks first. Ooh, all right. So this disgusting thing, it turns and it looks straight at Othello, and it's going to pounce. Ooh, and Othello is going to try and dodge. All right, and you see this disgusting thing leap down and sort of spring right by Othello, who sort of jumps back and sort of runs into some of the crates and falls over on the ground, sort of now trapped behind this thing and all the stuff inside this garage. And next up, I believe we had a 13, right? Was that
Patch? I'm a 13.
Yep. So now it is your turn.
Let's pause for just a moment until.
2 minutes later.
Does everyone want to get back into it, or is everyone
we're
ready?
back? Yes, we're back.
Yeah.
Right later.
All right.
So it was Patch's turn.
Yeah,
Okay,
Patch,
so I'm going to start backing up because I don't want to get trapped in here with this thing, but I do want to give it a full auto burst.
All right. Wonderful. Yeah, go ahead and give me a firearms.
Well, problem with old guns.
Oh, what'd you get?
99.
Oh, right. And the problem indeed, you start your burst, and the one bullet gets out of there and kind of gets close to her, and then tick, 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 it gets jammed.
At which point, I'm leaving. But fortunately, I taken a shotgun after from our friend, so I'm still have a weapon, but I am outside. Like, oh nope, it's jammed. I'm out of here.
And it is actually an automatic shotgun, so you could do a burst of that as well if you wanted next turn.
Yep.
All right, so Patch. Or no, sorry, not Patch was fine. Pilfer, it is now your turn. There's chaos around you. Othello just dodged the spider monster. There's trying to fire shots out of it. So far, we've had a couple misses.
Lovely, and it's really great that I have no weapon. So what I'm going to do is Pilfer remembers that the boy bleeding out, what's his name? Antonio, is that his name?
Yeah, that was his name.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find the handgun he dropped, and I guess that will probably take the full turn to run out and look for it.
Why don't you give me a search roll?
Search. Oh, is that? I think that might make it on the dot. Search. No, failed it by 10.
All right, so you are able to find it, but it takes the whole turn to sort of get it. And you sort of scrunch around. You find, he sort of starts crawling towards the door. This disgusting thing. And you're able to sort of find the gun as he gets out of your way, and you're able to grab it. And that is your turn. Next up is actually one of the NPCs. So Othello is going to raise up his pistol, and he's going to try to shoot at this thing that's. He actually dodged. That was his turn. However, Antonio is crawling as best of his effort in his state, trying to get out of the garage. And Oscar, the very young one that was on the floor. So Oscar, he looks up at this thing, and he actually goes, "Suka, Bliat, and he turns and he starts running down the road. Like he is just running, just absolutely running down the road. And I believe next up is anybody have a 12 as well?
It was me, but obviously I'm frozen at the minute.
What do you mean he's running down the road?
So he just starts running down the street.
He's running away.
He's running past
out.
He's running past us and
killing.
Well, this was Oscar, the one that was like sort of on the ground in front of the garage that you took the gun from.
Oh.
And so he's just running. He's got your back towards you in his cheap suit. He's just running. You could easily take a shot at him.
Okay, I'm pointing my gun right at his back and shooting.
All right, and then
as far as I'm concerned, these people are infected.
Yeah. Do you have a 12 or?
I have a 12. Yeah,
but you are frozen.
Well, I am frozen, so I can't.
Right. Not yet. You'll be able to roll soon.
Because I actually have 2 fucking pistols.
I'm a terrible shot.
It looks like you. All right, was that everybody? Did everybody move? Everybody went, right?
I believe so.
So we go back to so back to Pompadour. You can go ahead and start with the 14.
Okay. I'm shooting at the guy and I'm missing.
What about with a plus 20?
Oh, with a plus 20? Yeah, that would pass.
All right, yeah, you hit him. Go ahead and roll damage. He's running in a straight line with your back towards him. He just wants to get the hell away from that thing.
I got a 4.
All right, yeah, so you do 4 damage.
At the same time, I say to Patch, I said, he needs to die. These people could be infected with whatever this.
So this point, I'm like, clear this jam for me, and he get this submachine gun, and I'm gonna go finish him off with the shotgun.
Actually, can I use physics to see if I can clear the? What's wrong with it?
Well, you did just shoot at him, so it'd have to be next turn. But yes, I like the idea. Yes, you can do that. Okay. You can do that with your next turn. You do shoot him, and you sort of get him in the side of the gut, and he sort of falls forward. He's and he just starts crawling. He's like crawling, into some sort of alleyway, just trying to get away. All right, and next up it is Platypus, I believe, with the other 14.
Yep, and going for shooting the disgusting spider thing.
Yep.
All right, so rolling, and that's a 46, so that's a success.
All right, yeah, go ahead. And you're using slugs, right?
Yeah, so that's
going to be 2d6. Yep.
Is that all? I thought it was. Hang on one second.
So it's 2d6 for slugs. And they ignore armor, and then it is 2d10 for shot, and you actually get a plus 20, but they get to double their armor if they have any.
Oh, okay.
So you're doing 2d6 and ignoring armor with slugs, which yeah, you're not quite sure, but this thing does have some sort of carapace. Yeah.
8 damage, pretty good.
All right, yes, and so let's see here. Let's do it.
Come on, we got to get its Thacko down.
All right. What is this, OSR? All right, yes. And you shoot a solid hole in this thing, and it's a disgusting black carapace. But it is still moving, and it turns, and it did not like that. So it is going to leap onto you now.
Ah, fuck.
And that's a 6.
Can I just try Hail Mary dodge here?
So you can actually you could use your next turn's dodge. You can use your next turn's action to dodge here. You forgo your next action and you dodge. So go ahead and roll a dodge. You are trying to get under your skill, but better than 6. You got lucky this time. No, you failed. All right. So this, you all see this disgusting spider thing sort of jump and after taking this shot, latch on to Platypus's face.
Platypus, my face!
I am going to need you to give me a Constitution roll.
I'm going to need to give myself a Constitution roll. Oh. Yeah. Yes, that's a 7. That's a success. That's a hard success, or whatever you want to call it.
All right, so you just take 5 damage as these fangs pierce in, and you feel like it is trying to get at your eyeballs. Like it is working its way. It is trying to get inside your skull, and so it does 5 damage as it's latched into you. Is that half of your health by chance, or no? Or you're actually good. So that's as long as it's not half, you keep going.
It's not half. It's more than I would like to lose, but
because you have you have 12. I remembered. Right. So next up is the 13s. So Patch.
There is a man I'm going to go. So I pass the submachine gun. Tell tell Pompadour to clear this.
I'll give you my Glock if you don't.
Well, I have a
that.
shotgun. I have an auto shotgun that I
okay.
stole from the guy who's running away from us. So I'm going to use that.
Just go put him out of his misery.
Chase him down and.
So you're easily able to catch up to him, and you go down maybe not even a block or two, and you see he's in an alleyway crawling, just trying to get as far as he can from whatever that thing was. And you hear him mumbling in some sort of language that isn't English.
He was the Russian.
So what do you do, Patch?
Can I recognize what he's speaking?
Do you speak Russian?
Oh, it is Russian.
Can I recognize Russian?
You probably would recognize. I mean, it's definitely some sort of Eastern Europe. What's your int?
Well,
give me a roll. Give me an intelligence roll. Then
Patch is not the brightest.
I just remembered what your intelligence was.
He is not the brightest bulb, and a 42 is a fail.
It's some sort of Europe. It's some European language.
That's not American.
Something.
They all sound Russian.
French, German, Russian, Hungarian, something.
Well, I'll put the shotgun up to his head, and I said, "Who are you working for?"
And he says, something, spasiba. And he puts his hands up. He looks dazed, like he's out of it, like he's just had this come up and scared out of him.
Spasiba. I keep saying that to myself as I shoot him, then go back to Pomodoro.
He said, "Please."
All right. Or actually, wait. I think my Russian's wrong because I thought that was one thing, but it was another. But who cares? That's what he says. He's not in his right mind.
Yeah, spasiba, I think means
spasiba
means thank you. I think.
Yeah, I thought he was supposed to be saying please, but no.
You wanted
he's lost his head. Bashalsta, yeah, he's not right in his head. And so you're easily able to execute him. I will need you to go ahead and roll a sanity roll against violence, unless you are adapted.
I am not. So.
A tactical guy isn't adapted.
I was just thinking that.
87 is no, that's a fail.
And so I believe killing an enemy in cold blood, I believe, is a D8.
Oh, scheisse.
Because it was in cold blood.
Wow, so that's a 7. So time to start projecting onto some bonds.
Sure.
You're too used to playing Connor.
Yes.
Well, he had to die. He could have been infected.
Well, so that's only a 1.
Okay.
So have I now been infected?
1 from your willpower and 1 from one of your bonds. You take 6.
What did you say, Platypus?
I'm sorry?
You said something just now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here in my headset. I said I wonder if I'm infected, but I'm not saying that. I'm just screaming. It's because a giant spider thing hit me in the face.
Would you like to fight, flight, or freeze? You will only be able to do one of those things. If you fight, you have to engage anything that you deem an enemy until it is gone.
Yeah, I'm going to go fight that spider thing.
All right. Yeah. All right. Great. And so you start sprinting back towards it. All right. I believe it was Pilfer with the other 13, right?
Yes. And I know I have the gun, right?
Yep.
I'm going to back into a corner and try shooting at it.
All right. Sure. Yeah. And you're close enough. Go ahead and get a plus 20 since it's right in the middle of the thing, going for Platypus's face.
Firearms. Where are you?
My best one.
Mm-hmm.
Where's firearms? There it is. So, oh wow, I'm not trained at all.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a fail. I miss.
Ooh, all right. And even with the plus 20?
Yeah, even with the plus 20.
All right, unfortunately. So yeah, so you just sort of just very barely clip it, and it sort of bounce off a box in the heat of what's going on.
I'm too terrified.
Yeah.
Hands are shaking.
Right. Pathfinder, go ahead and give me let's do a power minus 20 for this turn.
Okay. What is let me just see what it is. What is it? Oh, okay, I have all right, but let's. Okay, that is 18, so that's 38. That's a success.
All right, so and then go ahead and roll me a D3.
Okay. Why am I just holding all my dice on my hand? No, that's 2.
Okay, so you are now you sort of are snapping back into it. However, you are in a state of shock. So for the next, you rolled a 2, right?
Yeah.
So for this turn and the next turn, all actions are going to be at a minus 20, but you can still act because you are in a state of shock.
Okay, so I can act this turn, but I just have a.
Minus 20. That's correct.
Okay. I am. I'm gonna use my other pistol, which is my heavy pistol, and.
Okay, sure.
Okay, because the light and the heavy are the only those pistols are the only thing not tied to my actual job. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe you left it in the car, unfortunately, because it's in your duffel bag.
Oh yeah, I only have my light pistol, so I'm gonna have to use.
Well, no,
that's the only thing.
I say, did you bring the heavy pistol? Because you definitely don't have the car.
I had the light pistol in my holster. I would have assumed I'd have the other one in my other holster. I could do a look roll to see.
Oh yeah, go ahead and do that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Did you bring it? Yeah, do you remember?
Let's just see. No, I didn't bring it.
All right, so go ahead and use your light pistol again. you just got your little pocket revolver you had stashed.
Well, I'm on a roll, but that means something bad's going to happen at some point. That's an 09. So,
all right, awesome. So even with the plus 20,
that's plus 20. So yeah, it's still a hit.
So yeah. Go ahead or minus 20 in this case. But
Well,
go ahead and roll a. Or sorry, no, it is math. But anyway, roll the D8.
Sure.
Yeah, it was a difficulty, not a bonus. Yeah, go ahead and roll the.
That's 5.
All right, yeah. So it looks like you hit the thing, but you just do a little bit of damage. As it looks like, unfortunately, this thing's carapace took most of the hit. And we are back to Pompadour.
All right. I've pulled the door down about halfway.
Okay.
But I'm keeping an eye on what's going on inside. If the thing comes anywhere near towards the door, I will slam the door closed. However, I now see Agent Patch running back, and I assume I'm going to try to keep Patch from going back inside, but maybe he can get down on his belly and just shoot. I'm sorry. I was trying to.
Yeah, did you want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should go ahead and do a physics roll. I like that. I like that idea.
Okay, I got a 70 out of 80. So
all right,
I figure out how to unpop.
Yeah. You're like you don't quite know much about guns, but you know about physics, and you mess around with the mechanism a little bit, find out what part isn't moving right, and you're able to sort of get the jam out, and you're pretty sure it'll work now.
It's the bullets in the gun; they're not quite perfectly compatible.
Exactly, it's new bullets but old gun.
Right. So I hand it to him, and I suggest that he just lay down on his belly and shoot what's inside.
All right, yeah, and I do believe we've got Pilfer. When you grabbed that gun, were you still inside or were you just outside on the floor?
It was wherever Antonio's lying.
Yeah, you're sort of just on the inside by that crate that he was hiding behind with the gun. Mm-hmm. And I think Pathfinder, you were like just outside the door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were like guarding when you saw the thing.
Well, Pathfinder was inside.
Oh no, yeah, I was inside.
Oh, okay, so you're just inside, right?
Yeah, he was inside. Pilfer was inside because he was.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, because the gun was by Antonio and Antonio and Ophelia.
Right. So you're just on the inside, and so Patch is sort of running outside. I think you were Platypus. So everyone is inside except for Pompadour and Patch.
Correct.
And two of them are close to the door, but Platypus is kind of in the middle with this thing all over his face.
The kiss I'll never forget.
Has Pilfer been compromised since he's been attacked by the thing?
Pilfer? No.
Yeah.
But speaking of Platypus,
yeah,
it's your turn. So go ahead and do me an unarmed combat at minus 20 to try to get this thing off of your face.
No, it's a fail.
All right, go ahead and do me a Constitution check. Constitution roll.
I tip people well. I hold doors open. It's another fail.
All right.
Well, that was that character.
So that's going to be 8 damage as it sinks.
I'm dead.
All right, yeah. So it sinks its teeth into your skull, and it sucks out your eyeballs.
I was using those.
And those of you on the inside get Pompadour kind of sees this halfway, but those of you on the inside get the best look. So why don't y'all give me some sanity rolls as you see as this spider comes off of Platypus, there's a little bit of residual sort of matter that sort of drips down as it rips, and just there are these two like sockets where Platypus's eyes once were.
That's a failure.
right, that's just going to be a D6 unnatural.
Just a D6.
I need to use different dice because
Did you get 100?
Yeah, I got 100, and I got
So
2 last night as well.
So
what is...
that's going to be, so when you crit fail, you take the max. So it's going to be 6. Would you like to project to try not to bout again?
Yeah, I'm going to project.
And then Pilfer, how about you?
Yeah, I took 6, so I'm going to have to project.
All right. Look, the two of you just need to get 2. You just need to get 2 on that D4.
I got 4.
All right.
So what is it you roll with the D4?
So you roll a D4. So for Pathfinder took 6.
Yeah.
He rolled a 4 on his projection. So he's going to mark 4 off of his willpower, and he's going to mark 4 off of one of his bonds. But he's also going to only take 2 because it's 6 minus that 4 as well. Basically, you take it from the willpower, the bond, and the sanity damage. You take what you roll.
I feel bad
for
4
as well.
My girlfriend. She's taking the.
Yeah. What? So no bonds are at 0, right?
No.
And is your willpower at 2 or less, or? You took 1 and you took 4, right?
Yeah. No, I've still got.
Okay.
I still got 9.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good. Because if you go to 2 willpower, you have a mental breakdown. And if you go to 1, you pass out. 0 is likely death.
Yeah, I'm still.
All right. Be sure. Okay. And what about you? What about your projection roll?
I rolled a 4.
All right, cool. So you also take 4 off of the 6 and your willpower and a bond.
Okay, awesome.
Cool. All right, and just let me know if your willpower gets too low.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will at this
All right. And you unfortunately you all see the unfortunate demise of Agent Platypus. And it is looks like it's well, that was its turn. So now it's back to Patch and Pilfer.
Well, I'll take my machine gun again.
Yeah, I love this sort of, you just run up and just like a machine, just rip it out of Pompador's hands, and you're just like a
full
like
auto burst.
All right, go ahead and roll a firearms.
Come on. 41 is good.
All right. We get to try out the lethality rules, one of my favorite parts of Delta Green.
It's 10% chance to just outright kill. Otherwise, I add the 2 together like they're D10s, right?
Right. So now that applies to regular creature. Like a human would die from a lethality roll. It depends on the creature. So go ahead and roll the lethality.
Dun, dun. No, 56. Nope.
So, all right. So you do 11 damage to this thing. And you cut it up and you put some holes in it, make its character more Swiss cheesy. And it does look like part of it, did kind of take some of the blast, but it did very much hurt this thing. And it looks like it's dripping some sort of disgusting black ichor. And it does look damaged. It's still going, but it is quite damaged. All right, Pilfer.
After seeing it crack open Platypus like an egg, I am going to run out of the room, back out into the street.
All right,
get away from that.
Yeah, sure. You want to get behind the car? You trying to just start running as far as you can? What are you going for?
I want to try and get behind the car. I don't want to leave my
sure. Yeah, you're easily behind. Yeah, you spend your turn. You sort of get back behind the car and get in cover. All right. Next up, we have Pathfinder.
Well, I'm just gonna take another shot.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
I've still got the minor the 20 on. Because of the 20, I got 61, which is a fail. So.
All right, so yeah, you almost get the shot off, but you're just a little too shooken up, and you're kind of shaking as you're trying to fire, and it just barely misses. All right, Pompadour.
All right, if Pilfer or Pathfinder, Pilfer was close to the door, wasn't he?
Oh, that's correct. He was, and he's now behind the vehicle.
He's behind the vehicle.
Yeah, he ran outside. He ran out from the garage behind your vehicle. Yeah.
Okay, so he came out. So if I could reach in and grab Pathfinder, I'm going to try to just pull him out.
Well, I would have assumed I would probably have positioned myself in a better place to shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can't, then I'm just prepared. We've got Patch on the ground next to me with the machine gun. I'm just ready to slam that door closed.
All right, yeah. You want to go ahead and give me a, or you're gonna wait, or
I'm gonna wait. I'd like to get Pathfinder out of there, but
okay. So you're just gonna yell at him. What's the plan?
If he's not near the door, I'll be like, Pathfinder, get over here, get out.
I'll go.
I mean, you can. You're probably going to keep firing because you can't just like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's on that turn. It'll have to be next turn if I decide to listen to you. But...
All right.
And what I'll do is if he gets out, I'm going to lower the door down much lower, but they can still shoot it.
All right. So you sort of readied the action.
Right.
All right. All right. So I believe we now go to the thing and roll. Because you also it's worth noting you haven't heard from Othello behind the crates in a while.
Fuck him.
Fuck Othello.
Othello's going to die anyway, so we're going to kill him.
All right.
Avenge me.
So Pathfinder, you see this thing. It gets riddled with these bullets, and it looks up and sees you, the nearest person firing a weapon, and it is going to lunge at you. All right, and it just barely misses as it sort of pounces, and you're able to sort of, and it just sort of hits the wall of crates, and knocks one of them aside. So now it's like, there's one crate, and then there's two crates stacked up next to it, and it's sort of shifting and getting ready for to do another attack as it missed its first pounce. Now we're back to Patch and Pilfer.
Well, this thing's not dead yet, so I'm going to keep firing at it full auto.
All right. This will probably use up the rest of the clip.
Yep.
This burst.
54 is a hit.
All right, go ahead and roll lethality again.
No, 65. So another 11.
But another 11. And so, Pat, you sort of raise the gun up as Pompadour's got it kind of halfway closed. Just yelling at Pathfinder to get out. And you sort of see kind of the lower half of Pathfinder dodge and these sort of disgusting spider-like arms, sort of moving around as you can only get, sort of half of the image of this. And you just sort of, duck under a little bit and you fire off a burst. Pathfinder, why don't you go ahead and give me a dodge roll?
Oh yeah, I don't care if I hit him at all.
Yeah, due to your due to your proximity to the burst of this.
Dogs is just base, so and I don't have any penalties anymore. So. 44, which is a crit fail because.
So do I need to roll? So I roll against him as well because my range is 1 to 3 meters, so he gets hit by it also.
Yeah, and I guess go ahead and roll a separate one for him, sure. Just because he crit failed.
59, so 14.
Oh, because I was gonna let you take half, but you crit failed, so you got your own, and so unfortunately, Pathfinder, you're gonna be taking 14 damage as you are. Yeah, so you were unfortunately cut up in the fire as Patch mows down this disgusting creature and the person it was trying to maul, and you hear the sort of the odd sort of screeching as it falls to the floor dead.
Okay, and I take the shotgun and I go finish off Othello.
All right, you sort of see.
I consider him still my enemy.
So the spider's dead.
It is dead.
Okay.
In fact,
I'll lift up the thing. Yeah, we got to kill everybody.
Go ahead and give me a dex roll, Patch.
See if you can find out something.
61 is a pass.
So he also passed, but you beat him. So when you turn the corner, it actually looks like Othello is getting ready to shoot himself in the head after what he's seen. But it looks like you beat him to the punch. So
where did she get infected?
Patch, are you gonna shoot him or?
I'll make a power because now Pompadour's trying to ask him a question. So if I can
right,
hold yourself.
Yeah, because it depends if you still consider him an enemy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
So 39 is a pass for power.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, you do kind of want to kill any enemy in front of you, but he's pointing a gun at himself, so
it's like a little disarming. Like, oh,
yeah. And it looks like he's crying. he's just got these tears rolling down his face, and it looks like if you don't stop him, he's going to shoot himself.
Yeah, I'll try to stop him. I'm like, we have to know how did you become compromised? How did she get infected?
He just says, I failed her. I failed her. I failed the program. I failed everyone. And he's just he is not in his right mind.
Okay. Are you in Delta Green?
He says, yes, I work for the program.
What? How? You've got to tell us more about the mission. How did you get infected? The home they did something to her. And he says Antonio has notes.
I go over to her, and is Antonio still alive?
Yes, he's sort of he's like outside, still bleeding out, sort of like behind a trash can in the alley that Pompadour was hiding in at the beginning of the battle.
Okay. So as soon as we've got the notes, we need to put bullets in these people's heads.
Yeah.
And we need to, should we burn this green box? Get rid of any evidence?
Yeah, we have like 5 bodies in here.
Right. And we need
something that we don't want the press to discover, the spider thing needs to go.
And then plus we've got whatever's in the truck. We need to make a new green box somewhere and put that object in there, and then follow up on what the fuck this is all about.
The program? Yeah, what the hell are these people? Okay. Pilfer, come help us.
All right. And so you're gonna execute the 2 of them?
Yeah.
All right. So I need everybody to go ahead and give me one of those sanity tests. Patch, you can go ahead and roll another one, but it'll be different for you since you already did that once tonight.
01.
All right. Well, yeah. If you did it once,
it's just like this is
what's 2 more times?
It's another Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, right. It's another Friday. Yeah, it's another Friday. Friday morning for Patch.
It's what we expected in the from the beginning.
Okay. So for the rest of you, if you pass, it'll be a D4. If you failed, it'll be a D8.
Okay.
As you executed these people in cold blood.
2.
Nice. 1.
We put it was a mercy killing them out of their misery. They could be infected with spider monsters.
Spider AIDS.
Oh, it's a shame about Platypus, but we need to make sure there's nothing. Oh yeah,
just
fuck you, Pathfinder.
Nobody cares. Pathfinder just stood there doing nothing that whole time. We don't mourn his death.
He peed his pants 3 times already with the spider.
I did medical.
No, it's a shame. It's a shame about the 2 of them, but
true to the PCL name.
I don't know what to do at this point because I already contacted ACEL, and they said deal with it.
Well, we've dealt with it. We just got to find a new place to drop their box, and we just got to burn this. We can't let anybody find this evidence of this thing.
Right, and we need to. Hopefully, the ACEL might want us to follow up on this.
Well, we can do that after we burn all this. We have the notes.
Yeah. They had a truck too. I mean, we could drive out in the desert and dig a pit and burn it all. We don't know what else is in the. We don't also touch it. Not really. We don't know what else is in this green box. Hopefully, get some weapons and shit.
All right. Driving out in the desert in their car and
burning the car and everything in it.
Yep, that sounds about right.
I died.
Right. So you're gonna load everything up and bring all the evidence out to the desert to
burn,
to get rid of it, including poor Platypus and poor Pathfinder. And
you're gonna load up the Thing's corpse as well.
Yeah, we have to do it somehow. Right. We'll have
it's a little bit, yeah. It's a little bit of a struggle, but the 3 of you, there's a little forklift in the back of the green box. You're able to use that, or not a fork. One of those little hand trolleys things.
Right.
You're able to use the hand trolley to. Yeah, it's a lot of groaning work, but the 3 of you are able to get all the pieces into the truck. Yeah, and go ahead and do me. What does everybody do me alertnesses as you start driving out?
Nope, that's a 96.
42 is a pass.
So Patch, as you're driving out, it's sort of the sun is just barely starting to set, way in the distance, and so it's very, very dark. But you do see what looks like as you drive off, you do see a van sitting in an alleyway that you didn't quite see from the garage, and it's just sitting there watching you as you drive by. A black van. Could be just a parked van, but you didn't notice it when you came in.
Anybody inside of it?
It's unfortunately too dark. It's still too dark, and the windows are tinted.
Anything, just ignore it, but keep an eye open. Make sure that we don't.
Yeah, I mean, these people were followed for whatever they were doing.
You drive out to the desert, find yourself a nice secluded area.
Burn the whole damn thing.
Just dig a hole and burn it?
Yep.
All right.
Make sure that anything that Platypus and Pathfinder might have that would identify them is in our possession.
Do you keep it, or are you going to burn it?
We'll probably get rid of it whatever way we can.
Okay.
But I don't know if they've got like a wedding ring or something. I might just keep that.
I don't know. Did either of you have a wedding ring?
They wouldn't want it thrown out. Garbage.
Yeah, I would have, but also you'd want to get rid of all my medical equipment, my carbine, and my shotgun.
Oh yeah.
They're all registered to my actual job.
No, we're burning everything.
Yeah, we get rid of that.
Yes, I have a wedding ring and a picture of my wife. It was a
probably in your wallet. I don't know if they're going to open up your wallet, but
we're going to open up his wallet. Why the fuck would you bring your wallet along with you?
I'm just fucking with you. I just wanted to guilt trip you.
Yeah,
I had 5 kids.
So you all, take care of things, and you do glance over and you see the morning sun rise. It's now Friday morning, and you wipe the sweat off of your brow with the shovels, with your freshly buried hole, sort of ponder.
And only 3 of us.
What?
And only 3 of us.
Yeah, there's only 3 of you now.
So with our contact with A-Cell, I assume it's A-Cell. What do they say when we tell them?
You're gonna give them up. You're gonna give them a call.
Oh yeah. And it's a coded report. We're not going to say anything directly, but
yeah, this is Boris. Is it done?
No. As I said, they weren't putting on the opera that we went to see. We had to reschedule, and in the process, 2 of us could not make it any longer.
Well, that's rather unfortunate. Did you go resell their tickets?
We don't know who to contact to do something like that, but
no, I mean, did you take care of their affairs?
Oh yes. We took care of their affairs.
And what about the original venue wasn't secure?
Correct. We are going to find a new venue.
Yes, I think you should find a new theater, set one up perhaps, and go ahead and give us a call and update us on the location. Otherwise, wonderful job. It'll be all.
The other people who showed up to the opera were, what was the name they gave? The
Project.
They were involved in some sort of.
One of them said the project, and another one was Russian.
Well, that's
like Boris Gutenov, the opera.
That's definitely interesting. We'll definitely have to bring you in to get a full report on that. I'm not sure, but this is the Russian element at the opera alarms me. However, it seems that they were a part of some sort of a rogue group. They must have they must have showed up at the green box years ago legitimately, and they weren't supposed to be there, so they're not acting under any official. They're not with us officially.
We try to find some way to explain to him, well, that we need to come in and debrief, so that we can actually talk about the giant spider and the.
He says, "Yeah, tell you what, here, meet me at a Denny's tonight, 12 a.m. Back room."
Okay.
He gives you the location of a nearby Denny's.
I would have liked to have met at the Denny's.
So would I.
Face eaten by a spider bitch.
But
Denny's.
I am haunting you, especially Patch. I'm haunting you.
Yeah, Patch doesn't care.
So, did you want to do anything before your meeting to debrief?
I wanted to ask you if this game is continuing.
Well, I suppose that's up for you all to. I mean, we could do a continuation. There definitely is. However, I think we'll say that you set up a new green box, new storage unit. You leave the footlocker there, and
What was in the footlocker?
What was in the footlocker? Indeed. Perhaps you'll have to find out next time on Delta Green. But
was
anyway.
it perhaps a mask to protect you from having your face eaten?
No, it was just cans.
If
It was
only.
cans of Raid.
They obviously didn't know anything about Spider Lady.
Yes, and so so you're able to you debrief with Boris. He congratulates you on a job well done. He's very interested in all of this. And then perhaps we could do something in the future as a follow up. But I was wondering if anybody wanted to do, of any of our three agents, we can do a home scene. If you're familiar with the home scene rules, let me see if I can pull up the thing real quick here. It is basically you can stay on the case and learn a little bit more. You could go back to nature or see a therapist, either lying or telling truthfully to get some sanity back. And then you could also try to form a new bond, maybe fulfill responsibilities. Let me get the sheet up for you.
I think my ghost is just going to hang out in this house in Chicago.
I like it. Share a screen here. So you could fulfill responsibilities, which is just get you, spend time with your family, go to work and do things, back to nature, get a new bond. You can go to therapy, improve some skills, or my personal favorites, stay on the case and study the unnatural.
I probably will stay on the case.
Okay. Would you
I
like
want
to
find out what's
use-
going on.
Would you like to use criminology or occult?
Occult.
Okay.
I roll for that.
You can go ahead and roll.
Let's see. I got a 55 out of 70, so that's a hard pass.
All right. Cool. And then I will get you some information. And then what did you want to do, Patch?
I am going to go to therapy, but not tell the truth.
All right, sounds good. Go ahead and roll a dice. You're looking for 50 here.
01.
Oh, hey! That is a very great place to roll a 1. You gain 6 sanity. If you have any disorders, they go into remission, and you actually gain a bond with your therapist at half of your charisma.
Oh wow!
So you can develop a therapist character and add it as a bond at half of your charisma, which is like 4, I think.
It will be 4.
Yeah. Great.
No, is it?
And
no,
then,
I wasn't telling the truth, so I only gained 4 then.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is correct. You only gained 4. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I'm couching it as war guilt.
Right. Yeah, you're talking about
at all.
half truths about the wonderful. And then Pilfer, Agent Pilfer. What did you want to do?
I failed a lot of skill checks, so I'm gonna go back to training school.
Sure, yeah. Which 2 skills? Oh, by the way, yeah. So, which 2 skills did you want to do?
Well, the main ones I failed, so first aid and driving.
Okay, so go ahead and roll. You're gonna roll each of the skills, and this is actually like Call of Cthulhu. You're trying to fail.
Okay, so try to fail. First one, which is driving, that is... Yes, that's a fail, 56 out of 50.
Awesome. And then the other one?
The other one is first aid, 50. And I passed that one.
Okay. So go ahead and add... so go ahead and roll 3d6 and add that to your drive.
Awesome.
And then you are going to have to just... You're just going to remove 2 points, either one from 2 bond, like one from one bond and one from another, or 2 from one bond, to sort of show that rather than spending time with your family and friends, you spent this training.
Yeah.
And so you hurt. It's not too bad, but you hurt your relationship a little bit in exchange for that. Patch, you also will reduce 1 point from a bond because you're busy spending time with your new therapist buddy. And then now, of course, Pompadour. You're going to go ahead and you get to roll a d6 minus 3.
That's a 2.
Okay, so you get to add 2 to your sanity and reduce one of your bonds by 1.
Okay.
And so, at first you said you were using the occult, right?
Correct.
So you do a little bit of digging, and you sort of you use sort of the information you got. There's a lot of weird spider stuff, obviously,
Right.
and you find that there is some native tribes that believe in a sort of a spider god, an Atlach Nasha, the mother of spiders, the weaver of the web. It's talked about in, there's a number of different native tribes from a number of continents that have sort of a similar figure. And just, you sort of keep coming back to that.
We've
it's sort
met
of,
before.
yes. And it reminds you also, that name being so similar, it reminds you of something, you found. Pilfer, did you share that note you found, or did you keep it to yourself?
Well, they said that they were looking for notes on the body, and if I heard that, I would have produced the note.
So you saw the note, and it reminds you of that. Atlach Nacha sounds a lot like Natasha Atlas, and you look her up and you find that she is a fashion designer, prominent fashion designer, and she holds a number of fashion shows and is one of the top donators every year to the Atlas Foundation Shelter for Battered Women, which is in Glendale. And that is where we will end it for now.
Awesome.
Crazy. Great game.
I'm glad. Yes, this one's a lot of fun. I always enjoy running this one. I've run it a couple times before. Really, really great work. So this is actually called Metamorphosis by Graham Kinneberg. You can find it on thefairfieldproject.com. Which is a fan site, a lot of great Delta Green source material and stuff there. I added a couple things, but it's mostly pretty much in his initial work. I sort of just added the sort of setup and things like that, little things here and there. But yeah, it's sort of a nice little contained one shot. But hey, if you want to follow up with some characters, it could be a sort of pseudo follow up kind of thing. And anybody who died, if you want to play again, you could make a new character or something like that. And
Cool.
Thank you all for playing. That was a blast.
Our players included Howard Fries, Morgan Llewellyn, Mark Anthony, Josh Harwood, and myself, with John Dos Passos as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. There's a link below. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Delta Green role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.